Greetings everyone. So I want to play you a clip from a recent talk that Father Donald Callaway did in Texas. It was about a month ago, and he basically mentions during this talk that it's Jubilee year and many people are planning to go to Rome to celebrate this. And he's basically saying you really don't need to go to Rome. Of course, if you want to go and you're planning to go, that's fine, but you don't have to. And in fact, you don't have to go on a pilgrimage anywhere abroad. If you can't go for whatever reason, perhaps you don't have the money, you don't need to. That's the point he's making in this clip that I'm going to play you. And as I was saying, the context of this clip is that he's talking about it being a Jubilee year and how the Vatican is essentially encouraging people to go to Rome, inviting them to go. And here's what he's got to say about that.
As I was thinking and praying about this Jubilee of hope, and a Jubilee is a special time. It's a special time for us to renew ourselves in Christ. Not just to come together and sing songs, have nice little get-togethers on a weekend, and then forget it. No, that would be a tragedy if that happened. At the core of this time of renewal, because that's what it's supposed to be, renewal, celebration, rededication to Christ, there's absolutely one thing necessary that if you don't do it, you're not going to be renewed. You're not going to experience a deeper love for Jesus Christ if you don't do this. Some people might be shocked by that because they can say, but I went to Rome. You ever been to Rome? I love it. But you're going to see graffiti. You're going to see all kind of stuff that you're in movies when you're watching movies about Paris and Rome. And then you go there and you're like, this place is garbage. If you've never been to Rome, you're probably like, yeah, you're not stoking me to go on your pilgrimages, Father. Well, you go there and sometimes you can get caught up in going to museums and going to the Vatican museums where you're going to see like tons of naked statues of David and rugs and paintings. Yay. But you know what the ultimate pilgrimage is? That you don't have to go to Rome or Paris or anywhere else around the world. You know where it is? Right here. The ultimate pilgrimage, free of charge, no jet lag. Right here, Jesus. Real, true presence. See, because I do a lot of pilgrimages, and I'll tell you about those later. Sometimes we can get wrapped up in just busting out the cell phones, and we're like, selfie, Eiffel Tower, hey, right? And then you fill up we got to scroll for days to find out, when was I there? Scrolling. Did you pray? Did you pray? That is the most essential thing about this time. If you don't pray, it don't matter. If you got 14 cell phones and a picture of every monumental place, of every epic spot on the planet, that don't mean nothing. If you don't take advantage of this time to enter into prayer, that is what it's about. And the documents say that. But they're advocating for people to come over to Rome. They want to make a little money. I get it. But you know what? If you don't have money to go, that's fine. You don't need to. Because you could do it right here in Woodlands, Texas, and allow yourself to be renewed in your love for Jesus Christ by doing one simple thing: prayer.
There are a few things I really like about that. First of all, I like the fact that he's not afraid to say that the Vatican is trying to maybe make this Jubilee year lucrative by inviting people to come. Hopefully that isn't their only incentive, of course, but they know that if a lot of pilgrims come to Rome, they're going to spend money, and that could help them financially. And he says he gets that. And he also says that Rome is a dump. That could offend people, of course, if you are from Rome. But I think the wider point that he was making was that a lot of these places that you go to on a pilgrimage aren't that amazing. Like, the actual cities are not that great. The specific place you're going to might be nice and peaceful and prayerful, but a lot of people, when they go on a pilgrimage, they also want to do other things. So if Catholics are planning to go to Rome this year because it's the Jubilee year, they'll of course want to go to the Vatican, but they'll also want to look around Rome since they're there. And he's saying actually it isn't that amazing. Other than the touristy areas, it ain't that great. And it's kind of the same in most places. I mean, I remember when I went to Rome, it was about 10 years ago. And other than going to the Vatican and seeing some of the touristy places like the Colosseum, etc., Rome was not that great. In fact, there was a lot about it that was a bit disappointing. There was graffiti around, as he said. There were these people on almost every street corner trying to push selfie sticks on you, going right up to you, right in front of you, getting in your way and saying, selfie stick, selfie stick. And it wasn't that nice and peaceful. It was actually quite annoying and frustrating at times, just wandering around Rome. It's very similar in other places. As he says, Paris, you know, you can go to Paris and see some lovely churches there. But Paris itself also has a lot of areas that aren't that great. It's the same as if you go to Mexico, to Guadalupe. I'm sure Guadalupe is lovely, that area there where Mary had her apparition, but then outside of it, it's probably not that great. And in Poland, I know this is the same situation. You know, you could go to Jasna Góra. It's a wonderful place where they have that great picture of Mary that they kind of uncover each day, and they pray a decade of the rosary to her in the evening. But the area around it, if you go a little bit outside Jasna Góra, ain't that nice. It's a bit of a dump, just like he was saying about Rome. Graffiti, youngsters up to no good, just a general kind of feeling like this isn't a particularly wonderful town. So just remember that when you're going to any of these places. A lot of these places are kind of advertised, or people think about them in a way that's not accurate. They think, oh, it's this wonderful, dreamy place, and it actually isn't. And of course, the most important thing that he was saying was you don't need to go anywhere to make a pilgrimage, because the most important pilgrimage is to literally go to your nearest church and visit Jesus there, visit the Blessed Sacrament. My church is a 10-minute walk away from where I live. I can go there. They don't have the Blessed Sacrament out regularly, but they have it out sometimes. But even if they don't have it out, I'm thinking, well, Jesus is still there. It's just that they haven't kind of taken him out on display, if you like. So you can still go and sit down in the church, and Jesus will still be there in body, blood, soul, and divinity. And later on in the video, Father Don Callaway also mentions Poland.
Anybody been to Poland? Oh, good, good. Poland, my friends, I'm telling you, is next level stuff. If you want to see what a Catholic country looks like, go to Poland. In my mind, it's the last great hope of Europe, really and truly. That's probably why the EU and the World Economic Forum hate their guts, and they want to just get all that crazy woke nonsense into Poland. They're trying so hard.
One of the places he's going to later this year is Poland, and he talks about how much he loves Poland, and it's such a wonderful Catholic country. He's right. When you compare Poland to Western European countries, it's certainly far above them when it comes to the Catholic faith, but it is going downwards. I have to be honest with you. People are losing their faith slowly. Less and less people are going to church regularly. You just have to read the statistics of surveys that are done. Less people, although it's a gradual decrease, less people are calling themselves Catholics and less people are practicing the Catholic faith. And the thing about Poland is, certainly from my experience, because I've been there quite a few times, when I go to a mass in Poland, I see a packed church, and that's wonderful. But at the same time, I realize this is kind of just the tradition in this country. People have been raised Catholic. It's a Catholic country. People go to church. It's what they do. I'm not saying that they just go to church out of habit and that they don't believe. I'm sure they do believe, but it's just considered part of what you do. So it isn't even seen as an effort to really do it, because people just do it. It's what you do. You're a Catholic, you go to church on a Sunday. When I go to a Catholic church in England, it isn't packed normally. A lot of the churches are not packed. Many of the pews are empty. There's a scattering of people in the church for Mass. But in a way, it's more heartening, because those people that I see, I realize that they have made a conscious effort to be Catholics and to practice the Catholic faith. Because unlike Poland, England isn't a Catholic country. It's a very secular, very liberal country. Catholicism isn't the norm. So in order to remain in the Catholic faith, you really have to make an effort to do so, because almost everything is pulling you away from it. So when I see people in church in England, in a Catholic church, it feels like, wow, you've really made a conscious effort to stay strong in your Catholic faith and keep practicing the faith, even though so many people around you would just see you as crazy, as wasting your time. And so it's really nice to see it in a country like England, or even in other countries in Western Europe. If you were to go to a church and see people there, it would be very heartening to see that those people have made a real effort, that those people have kept their faith in a country that's practically lost it. So I just wanted to make that comment about Poland. I hope it doesn't fall. I hope there's some kind of a resurgence. And of course, generally speaking, Poland is still up here when it comes to the Catholic faith. The vast majority of people are still Catholics, but it's lower than it was, and it's dropping. And I hope that at some point something happens that stops that drop or reverses it, and then it rises again. But at the moment it's dropping. Anyway, folks, let me know what you think about what Father Donald Callaway said. Are you excited about the Jubilee year, or do you think it's just kind of almost like a marketing thing by the Vatican, and you're just thinking, you know what? All we really need is to go to our local church, visit Jesus in adoration, make sure we go to confession, make sure we're going to communion, trying to be good people. We don't need this kind of Jubilee year excitement. Or is it something that you are excited about, and maybe you have plans to go to Rome? Leave your comments below as usual. Thank you very much for watching the video. Have a blessed day.